how we start my day.
Ruby girl.
Say hello. Let's get into it. A little smoothie action. Spinach, blackberries, banana. Let's get this day started. Step into the office.
Welcome back to Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, all that good stuff. Today, topic of the day, Uber Eats versus DoorDash. Now, I haven't been doing Uber Eats that long, but I have been multi-apping for the last few weeks, and I have learned a lot about Uber Eats, the platform, what I like, what I don't like. Now, you guys know I'm pretty much a DoorDash vet. I've got over 4,000 deliveries on DoorDash. I do it every day for the most part. I know that app inside and out. Let's talk about the differences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I want to get you guys' opinion. Let's get into it. All right, first thing, let's talk about when you're turning on these apps. When you turn DoorDash on, a lot of buttons. You got to maybe schedule. You don't have to schedule. Don't mind that. The buttons aren't a big issue while you're turning it on, but we all know it's an issue while you're getting offers and you're trying to drive or do drop-offs. But as far as turning it on, DoorDash is pretty simple for me. I just hit dash now, what time, real simple. Uber, sometimes you got to take a picture of yourself. You got to confirm COVID restrictions and or if you got a mask. You just have to take a picture of yourself with a mask. Don't have to do that anymore. But when you get past all the stuff, I like the way the Uber screen looks. I like that. I like how when you get an offer, you can easily one button decline. Super convenient. DoorDash, too many buttons. 1 point for Uber. I will say though, when we're getting offers, I love the DoorDash interface. Is that what it's called? Or the screen, whatever. The information it gives us now, not including tip transparency, but the miles, the merchants, even if it's a stack that tells you both of them, I love that. I like how I can zoom in. Is it a big building? Is it an apartment? Is it a home? Love that. I love it. With Uber, you can't zoom in. It'll give you merchant. If it's a stack that's only going to give you one, I hate that. It'll give you price. It'll give you miles. Pretty similar, except the zooming in and zooming out, and also on the stacked options for it. DoorDash is way better. So, 1 point for DoorDash. Now, as far as when you get to a place and giving information to a customer about a long wait, or giving information to DoorDash about Uber about what's going on with the order and any issues you ran into, DoorDash has more options. Long wait, long drive-through, order wasn't ready, order not started yet, all the stuff that we know about, right? Uber, you can just hit one simple, order not ready. Way less buttons, which is, it's easier, it's smoother, it's just nicer. The Uber Eats platform, as far as hitting buttons and stuff, is just way more user-friendly. I also like the communication between us and the customer. I think it's a little smoother on the Uber Eats end as well. At least that's my experience. Another point for me. All right, we're at Panera, picking up a stacked order. 2 for $10.50, 3 miles. Now, as far as busyness, DoorDash is busier, guys. I get way more orders on DoorDash than I do on Uber Eats. I think that's going to be for most markets, okay? I say that because you got to have both. Or Grubhub as well, right? I don't have that. But as far as these two go, DoorDash is king in my market. It's absolutely busy, busy, busy. Now, I mentioned the busyness because that's a factor for me as far as which app is better, right? I get more offers to go through on DoorDash than I do on Uber Eats. Now, there's a lot of trash, but you know, while that can be frustrating, it is what it is. You just decline. But my acceptance rate on both platforms is identical, well, pretty much identical. I'm into 20% on both, okay? Now, I just have more offers, and I make more money with DoorDash. So, as far as busyness in my market, the point goes to DoorDash on that one. Have a good day. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Delivery complete. So, did you guys hear? She said we match. I have a purple tie-dye shirt on. She had purple tie-dye. Anyway, so let's get into the next point. Right, so drop-offs on both platforms. Which is better, which is worse? For me, the Uber Eats drop-offs are easier. It's just more, there's just less buttons and less mess to do on the app when you're delivering these orders. And I've ran into less issues. I've done way less orders. Maybe that's why, but that's my opinion. The one thing I will say, though, that DoorDash is better on as far as drop-offs is if you can't get a hold of the customer, on DoorDash, it's a 5-minute timer. With Uber Eats, it's like 8 minutes. So that 3-minute difference is a big difference there. So I'm going to go ahead and say the drop-offs for both, I guess, actually are just equal. They each get a point. All right, so what about after you drop it off and the customer has their food? Which platform's better for the drivers like ourselves or independent contractors? Well, I'll say this. I haven't had any issues on Uber. I've had 3 contract violations on DoorDash. I was tip baited once on Uber, where a customer leaves a tip and then they take it back. That wasn't great. But I've also gotten bigger tips after Uber. Customers can tip after if they feel generous. I think Uber and DoorDash both hide tips. I don't think I've gotten a tip that from an Uber customer because they thought my service was that much better than expected. So I think afterwards, Uber and DoorDash are about the same for me. I don't think one's better or one's worse. I overall will say I think the clientele and demographic of the customer base is a little bit better on Uber Eats than DoorDash. Only because there's more people on DoorDash, you're going to have more rude customers, right? But Uber Eats, I think overall the customer base is just a little bit better. That's my opinion in my market. I'll say, this is why I say that. So if we're getting into the money part, we talk about after we drop deliveries off and, now we're getting ready to talk about maybe tips and things like that. My average DoorDash order that I take, now this is going to be different for most of you guys, and this is my St. Louis market. My average order is $7.50, okay? Because I take a few $5 orders, $6 orders, and I get 8, 9, 10, 11, hidden tips, but my average is $7.50, okay? What's your average? Put it down below. But with Uber Eats, I do far less each day I work, but my average is significantly higher. My average order on Uber Eats is almost $11 per order, which is phenomenal. I just don't get as many of them, okay? And that's why I also think the customer base and the tipping is just better on Uber Eats. So, because of that, this point of after you drop it off and the customers and things like that, if we're rating them on each platform, I give the point to Uber Eats on this one. So, we've taken a few orders, we picked them up, we've taken pictures, we dropped them off, right? We're seeing what we're getting paid. Now we're in the middle of our dash. Which platform's better for accepting and declining orders? Now that was supposed to be funny because we all know which one's better. Uber, like we said earlier, one button. One button, tap, one button, I don't want it. DoorDash, 1,000 buttons. You got to click on it. You got to click the reason. You got to click confirm. It is not safe when you're driving to do all these buttons. 20 points for Uber Eats as far as the comfortability of accepting and declining offers.
Uber Eats. Never been here before. Cool place.
Power Ranger action.
Little tie-dye action. Pretty cool.
All right, we're on our way to drop that off. Now, let's talk about the in-app, maybe navigation and or zones and how that kind of works. DoorDash, we know there's zones. I've got 4 zones that are separated by just a few miles here or there. Like, it's crazy. And if they will send you from your starting zone into another zone all the time. Now, you can accept a decline, but and sometimes it's good, and you can just, if you can dash now, just start in Webster Groves and then go to drop off in downtown or maybe Clayton and then turn it off and turn it back on. That works for me sometimes, so that's not bad necessarily. But what I like about the Uber, there's no zones. They just will send you here or send you there, and you got to make sure where the drop off is still going to leave you in a desirable spot to get another one if you're only using Uber. But for me, I like that there's no zones. I like that you're free to kind of roam and not have to worry about stopping and ending and things like that. So, this one's tough, but I'm going to have to give another point to Uber. No zones makes it, you know, I can just turn on the app and I don't have to say when I want to stop. None of that stuff. No, I think they cap it at you can only work 10 or 12 hours. Can't remember. Let me know in the comments. And that's for safety. Uber does that. But DoorDash, you got to stop and go and maybe get on a schedule, or with Grubhub, there's blocks, I think is what they're called. Uber's like, just, hey, tell us you want to work, hit the button and go. It's a big plus. All right, we just dropped it off. I should have taken a screenshot. Uber tried to send me to a place called Pasquale's Pizza. I'm going to give you guys a second to tell me if you guys know where that actually means. Pasquale's Pizza is Chuck E. Cheese. I'm in an area of town I'm not usually in. They disguise Chuck E. Cheese pizza. They call it Pasquale's Pizza. That is hilarious to me. So I just declined some really bad ones, and then this is what happens. We've talked about this. DoorDash will say, we're going to pause you because you're not accepting offers. We want to give them to the next available driver. Who's going to take $2.25 unless you're a top dasher? Absolutely ridiculous. Uber don't pause me. Never been paused with Uber. I don't. Tell me, is it a thing? It never happened. Another point for Uber.
Hey, I'm talking a couple good things about Uber Eats, and they're blessing me. Another Uber Eats, $7, 2 miles. You can take that. It's all good.
All right, so let's talk about DoorDash Uber Eats support. You run into issue, long wait. Somebody else already picked the order up. Guest canceled. You just don't want to do it anymore. You run into emergency. You got to call support, the dreaded support. Let's get into that.
Hi, you got the order? Here you go.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, so with support, I think a lot of these companies use the same support people, okay? This might be different than what most of you guys think, but I don't have an issue with support. Haven't been frustrated many times calling? Absolutely, with both Uber and DoorDash. But they're reading off a script. They can't really... I've had some good experiences and some bad. They're limited to what they could really do most of the time when we run into an issue. I use support to make sure things are logged just to protect myself mostly. But at the end of the day, most of the stuff we can do within the app ourselves, whether it's unassigned or whatever else. I don't have an issue with support. But I will say this. The most frustrating ones I've had have been with Uber versus DoorDash, if I'm being honest. So as far as support goes as a whole between both platforms, I actually prefer Uber. Or DoorDash, I'm sorry. I've had more issues with Uber. But they're support agents. They're just trying to do a job. They're working from home sometimes, you can tell. It is what it is. So as far as support goes, I'm going to give that point to DoorDash, actually.
All right, we got $11.50 for 3 miles. Stacked order, crazy balls. Yep. We can do that. It's got a quick delivery, guys. Thanks, appreciate it.
We just dropped off that stack. So what about the app for customers? Which one's better? I had some issues with DoorDash. And Uber's way more communicative and you can tip after and things like that. So for me, hands down, I think Uber Eats is the easier one to order from.
Fancy. Sign-in sheets for delivery. Let me show you what I'm talking about with these vending machines for those of you that watch this channel. See something like this? See how empty it is? This is in a busy spot. Now that is excessively empty. Somebody's not taking care of this machine. These are the machines I will be taking over. Oh, I like these old school revolvers. Ooh, nice building. We got a little Nugs Peeps the POV, baby. Let's go. Old cool buildings mean old slow elevators.
It's all right. So what have we missed? Uber Eats, DoorDash, which one's better? Which one's worse? Why? Put it in the comments below. I'm going to give you my tally up the score. Right, so I don't have any fancy tallies I can put anywhere. I guess I could, but I don't know how to do that stuff. So if you keep a track at home, Uber Eats has had more positives than DoorDash has, right? But if I had to pick one app to work tomorrow, Friday night, Friday day, whatever, which one would I pick? If I had to only choose one, I'd have to go with DoorDash. What? I know some of you guys are surprised, but this is why. Hear me out. it's busier in my market with DoorDash. There's just more orders, more trash Kobe Bryant's trash can orders, but there's just more. I can make more. Now, I supplement. I recommend you got to have at least another app so that when DoorDash is slow, maybe Uber brings you some orders, or you do both at the same time going in the same direction. You got to have both. Super, super, super important for us gig economy workers. Some of you guys have 4 or 5 or 10. I have 2 right now, and I'm doing okay. But if I had to choose one to make $200 tomorrow, I feel more confident making $200 with DoorDash because I've done it more than I would with Uber Eats. Doesn't mean I couldn't do it, but I feel like with Uber Eats, I'm going to be sitting around more, twiddling my thumbs, because the offers aren't as plentiful. On average, they're better per order, which I like. But to make that $200, I'm gonna be out there for 12 hours. Whereas with DoorDash, it could be 8 or 9, maybe less sometimes, maybe a little bit more. Listen, you guys are great. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion as well on the topics. What do you guys prefer? I think a lot of you guys prefer Uber Eats or Grubhub, for those of you that have it, and DoorDash is in the pits, right? But for me, because of the 2 that I have in my market, DoorDash is king. It's just busier. They have more of a market share, especially in my area. It's more than the 55% nationwide. It's probably closer to 70 in St. Louis. That's my guess, educated guess. You guys are fantastic. Put in the comments what you guys think. What do you like about it? What did I miss? I'm sure I missed some things. What did I miss? What do you guys like about it? What don't you like about it? What issues have you come across? You guys are fantastic. Don't forget to submit your videos to my email in my About section on my page. Why are you doing gig work? What is your why? How are you betting on yourself? I'm going to be picking 10 emails. Submit a video to my email. I'm going to be picking 10 videos. I'm going to feature them on my channel in one culmination of a video. You guys are fantastic. Bet on you. Set goals. One day at a time. See you tomorrow. So I want to add something. I just got a comment on a video I did yesterday about the glitches and things. Just had a comment from on the video from a Uber Eats customer saying they like using Uber Eats because they can tip in the app and then tip afterwards as well. And they can communicate, and if the driver communicates with them effectively about delays or issues or whatever, you know, the app allows them to empathize. That's the word they use. Empathize with the driver more easily.